Okay.
Okay, explain what this is.
Alright, so that shows you the actual size of the plants that they have. This is the processing plant here, right? Okay. Now, this here is the fresh water that they say they're going to be using to service this processing plant. Alright.
And what's that processing plant processing?
That there will be, originally it was only gold.
But it's cyanide. That's a cyanide plant. If you look there, look.
Aye.
Cyanide, so substance storage area to be used for the storage of cyanide, referring to drawing whatever. But there you go, people. That place there, and that's the pond to service that.
Well, another thing I need to point out is this is the original.
That's the original plan.
This was taken out of the original planning application. They've since changed this, amended it twice.
Right.
So,
but it'll give people an idea of what they were looking to do in some form or another.
This is where the fresh water pond was to be. Okay. They've had to change it because the statue of Our Lady is there.
Right. I was near enough. I was correct enough, near enough. Right?
So that appeared. So that's made it. They had altered that, and then you have, what do we see? Where is the road? Yes. So the GPO is here.
Right.
So they've had to alter that out of it. So because the GPO is there.
Is that the road leading into the GPO there?
So this is the tarred road, the Mullaghdow road.
Uh-huh.
And then there's the junction there. That junction is the rough road. So that is a council road. As it stands.
Yeah.
They want to take away that road.
Right.
And they want to replace that road, which leads right across here. And they want to reroute it down here. So this is the tarred road here. And they want to reroute the road away from their planning application. Okay, so if you look at, see the line of that pen there, and it runs right through to here. That's the historic Green Road.
Right.
So that runs right through where they want the tailings dump. So that's why it was so important for them not to recognise that road existed from 997.
Wow.
That
over what, 1200 years of history?
So Hugh O'Neill fought in that road with the O'Donnells. And
that would link up, connect with the Tullyhog Fort, the Fort of O'Neill's.
So this end would take you towards Cookstown, this end here take you on to Donegal.
Yeah.
So that would have been the
Flight of the Earls.
The main route to Belfast through Cookstown. Alright, so this here is the tailings dump, and they want to say, well...
Explain what a tailings stump is in a wee bit more detail so people understand what a tailings stump is and how high up that actually is above the village.
Tailings stump is a dry stack facility. So what it is that they'll have that in tiers. So you see every line there, heavy line. That's a tier.
Right. Yeah.
So they'll start off white at the base, and then they'll it's like a cake.
Yeah.
And it'll go narrow at the top, but that'll be 54 meters high at the top.
Wow.
To the bottom, to the base. Okay, on top of the mountain. So that'll be like a pasty substance.
Right.
But don't forget, once it comes out of this processing plant, it's already been treated. So first of all, it comes out of the ground, and there is harmful substance that comes out of the ground along with it.
Like it would be radioactive type of sort of stuff, wouldn't it be?
So radon is naturally occurring radioactive material. So therefore, this here site here will be deemed radioactive.
And toxic?
Toxic, yeah.
So what will happen to the village of Greencastle?
Well...
And Ruski and...
You have a couple of threats, so the water... So this is the actual burn here called the Pollen burn.
Right.
This is the burn here.
And what is a burn? It's like a wee steam.
So yeah, this is the water that feeds then into Castle Derrick, that feeds 84,000 homes.
Oh.
So and then
So that's just below that, dribbling into that, right?
Well, you see this here.
What is that?
This is the water treatment plant.
That's the water treatment plant, so right. So that's a big dam wall in front of it then.
So yeah, what they're proposing is that they'll treat the water before it goes into the burn. You can see them arrows.
Oh, so they're going to put it into this burn?
Oh, I see them arrows. Every one of them arrows is pointing that direction. Okay, they're pointing that direction,
right?
And then they're pointing into the stream.
Wow.
So
see that pointing into the stream, people. So that's going to go into a stream where there's freshwater pearl mussels and salmon, trout, dolphin, fry, eel, shrimp. So many protected species, native species too.
So, well, you have even just salmon, the trout alone, you know.
Yeah.
But you have all these other things that's going to contribute, and it's going to...
So you can see them wee arrows, people. Just see that. See all these ponds here. Under that dry stack, right, which is bound to be dripping into it, and they catch, and that goes in there, into that, all into that, down into this water treatment plant, and then whenever they have it treated, any accident can happen now. You only need an accident to happen once, people, remember that, for it to have devastating consequences on the environment and the impact on the community and everything. One wrong move, you have cyanide processing up here, and it all leads down through the system, right into here, and then into the stream.
Now, I'll point out
that's alarming.
Another fact, because of the pressure we put on them, is that they've changed the planning application so many times now. So they've changed the planning application on using cyanide. But they've done that just to appease the people, to get the site passed.
Yeah.
Once they pass the site and they're in production, they'll then move on to say this isn't viable without bringing in the cyanide.
Well, they could also do a smart move in any corporate business and buy over someone who already has a cyanide license, like someone like that wouldn't be that far up the road and as worthless would be something like Galantis. It could be a possibility, and they have a cyanide license, so if you buy over something, well, you buy everything with it. You know, just that's the reality of things in business and corporate world, people. And it is a big, strong possibility, because if you look up Galantis videos and things like that, well, they're talking more and more and more about Dalradion. And, you know, that's the way the business world works, people.
Yeah, well, this site here that's in Greencastle at present hasn't an application for using cyanide, although this is the original.
Yeah.
And cyanide has been mentioned.
Hasn't been mentioned.
And it can't be ruled out that they'll still bring it in. Yeah. So it's still a danger. Now, so you have a couple of problems there with this tailings dump. So you can imagine the hot summers and that pasty turning into a dry substance. Yeah. And then the wind lifting
like
it and carrying it. So they reckon the Sahara Desert dust that came over here a few times.
On St. Patrick's Day 2022,
well,
that we had a dusting of the Sahara dust on St. Patrick's Day, because remember we had the parade in Cookstown and we went to the bar and we were wiping the dust off the tables.
Well, that's what they call PM10.
Right.
Now, once this is through this processing plant and it's mounted on the mountain in the dry stack facility, that is PM3, you see.
Wow.
So that is the same equivalent as
asbestos.
Asbestos, yeah.
Carcinogenic.
So once that's lodged in your lungs, it's there forever. You can't get rid of it. So you have these...
something very seriously to think about in every corner of this island, people.
Well, that's that.
Now, for this here, so the reason why cyanide is so important to them is because this plan here to dig up all this stuff and send it across to South America somewhere for processing in another place, and then once the stuff's processed, they put it all back in the ship and they bring it up in lorries and put it up there, right? But it is not cost effective per ton it's not cost effective. So, profit wise. So the cyanide plant and water treatment plant makes more sense business wise to get it done to stop the shipping of highly
Cuts costs.
highly toxic substance across oceans when they can do it here in the middle of Ulster.
It's all about the cost.
Yeah.
It cuts cost more than the more profit. But anyway, this is why they're concentrating on doing it here. Because they know that this processing plant will not just be the processing plant for this one mine. It'll be the processing plant for all the mines that they have already applied for, which is 25% of the north and 27 and 28% of the south. So this mine will be servicing the whole island. But not just that. They then will be fit to go to England and Europe and say, we can now process, instead of shipping away to South America or whatever, they can now take it to Ireland and process it here.
So something very serious to take on board, people, and think about. Like, this is not a conspiracy theory. This is happening. Like,
Now that's the plan, so you can see it's happening. But there's more to it as well. So we'll look here. So this is the tunnel. Okay.
Okay.
So they have this here, which will be feeding the processing plant. Okay. And then you have this here. Now that'll be. Where do we see? What does it say? This is the internal road, they call it, right? Okay, so that's the road. This here will be
Internal ditch service.
no. This will actually be a conveyor.
Oh, right.
Conveying the material.
The ore and all, because there's an ore thing there. There's the ore crusher building, internal storage, and then there's an ore facility there somewhere to store ore. Where did I see that?
I'll be over here probably. There's the storage there. Used for storage, the cyanide. But anyway, the scale of this is massive, and you can see it's all ring fenced off, so the public can't get in on it. So that's the road there that they're going to replace this road with. Here. So there's one road they're looking away. They've already said this road doesn't exist here. The green road, the ancient green road, has been there
over 1,200 years. Flight of the Earls, people.
It has so much history on it.
Yeah.
You have, I mean, this to give you an idea, you can see, where do we see? So there's the road. So there's one family here. That fella there has only died in January. That's a household there with 3 children. They're only married. And they couldn't get planning permission for a mortgage because of this site.
Wow. And that's their homestead. Been there all their lives, have they?
That house is going back. It's going back 3 generations.
So foreign companies come in here and dictates where people can build and all. There's same up near and where the explosive store is. There was a family up there going to build a historic building back up, family homestead, and they were told not to put a roof on it. If they did, that they would took the court or something.
You have another family here. That's the original homestead here. The farm's run now by this fella here, and he's got 2 sons that's looking to build here. So look how close they are.
Yeah.
They've the planning permission in, and they're using old dwellings to get planning. Over here then there's another road. All these roads are linked. All these roads are linked from, this is the original road, and it runs across. There it is there, runs across.
Yeah.
And it links this road, goes across, and it links this road. So they want to cut off. They want to cut off that road. That road will not exist. As well as this road here, which is the green road. So then 2 roads.
So the road exists on their map.
How will you
But they're saying it doesn't exist, but it exists enough to be on their map, which they want to eradicate. You see, it's a slight contradiction in it, isn't it?
So this road's still being used at the moment. Charlie Ward's cottage is. You'll see it somewhere. Let me see. Charlie's cottage should be this. Look, existing road. It actually states the road exists. Charlie's cottage is roughly about.
I was thinking over that side, yeah.
About here.
Yeah.
So they want to take away that cottage, obviously, because they need. So you can see that what extent they're going to go to get this up and running. And this is only a small catchment of the area. Greencastle is out of sight, actually. That's the Greencastle Road, the Gorging Greencastle Road. So Greencastle's down here.
And that all is up all above it. So like you have Aberbathan in Wales, which what size was their tailing stump?
Just can't, on the top of my head, can't remember. But it's
a lot smaller than that one, wasn't it?
A hell of a lot smaller.
Yeah, in scale.
Yeah.
And it's the same situation. There's a primary school, a GAA club, a village, everything below this, as you can see. That's all on top of a hill. That's the peak of a hill, people. And that all runs down into this river. And, it's time to, take heed, people. It's serious biscuits here. And if the people are asleep at the wheel here, we lose our country here till toxic gold mine. And you can't repair that. Just go on to Google, people, and Google gold mines around the world, toxic gold mines around the world, and just look at the photos. Go into the pictures and look and just make your own mind up. Do you want beautiful éiRe Ireland to look like that?
Nothing stacks up. They talk about 300 jobs they're going to create. They're not talking about all the farmland that's going to be destroyed.
Yeah.
And all the farmers is going to...
The number one industry. Like, look at all those fields, people. They're all fields. And that's all under threat here.
So the loss in their livelihood for the greed of this company.
Yeah.
And then that doesn't mention the tourism.
Yeah.
The fishing.
Yeah.
People's health. I don't think it's worth 300 jobs.
No.
And the 300 jobs won't be the people from...
and they're not jobs for life either, because this mine has a lifespan of 25 years.
20 to 25 years, they say they'll have the place...
stripped.
Yeah. But regardless of the jobs that they say they'll create, the jobs won't go to the locals. This company...
Well, you'll be needing experienced miners and things, and wouldn't you? Like, you're not going to send Paddy, who's a joiner, down and take out gold under the ground. Like,
well, this company isn't actually a mining company. They're an exploration
prospecting
company. So all they're interested, they'll promise the moon and the stars to get it up and running. They'll promise the jobs. They'll promise they'll take care of the area and look after it, just to get it up and running. Once it's up and running, they'll sell it on, and the company that'll buy it in will come in, and they'll say, we promise nothing.
Yeah.
They'll say, well, shall we have our own men?
You know how business works, people. All's fair in love and war, like, you know what I mean?
So don't be fooled with them.
Don't be sitting taking businesses and corporations. You look at... I'll give you a good film there to look at. Look at Erin Brockovich. Then look at Dark Waters, about the Tefal over in America. These are all corporations that go in and destroy people's livelihoods, industries, families, everything, all for greed. And no need for it.
Like imagine living in any one of them houses. Look at the comparison, the size of that.
Yeah.
Any one of them houses to the size of that.
Yeah.
There's a farm. There's a farm there.
The animals.
And look how many houses is on that farm. The home house.
Beef cattle, sheep, all,
That's the home house and there's sheds around it.
Yeah.
And that's a big enough farm. Look at the size of that.
And any company in the world that tells you that they're giving you guarantees, we're guaranteed that can't leak in there. They can only guarantee it. A guarantee is not set in stone. They're saying, well, we can guarantee it that happen. But if it does happen, what is the contingency plan? Well, because it has long-lasting, effects. They can pack up and go. We can't.
Well, one thing anybody can guarantee is that stream goes down. It doesn't go. So if anything
It's
spills
all
out,
going towards that direction.
there's no stopping it.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah.
It's destroy. It's going to destroy everything. And if this slides, it's going to go downhill. So the people that's living below it in the village of Greencastle, they're not going to have much chance.
No.
But it's a bigger picture. It's not the Greencastle area that needs to worry about this. In fact, it's anywhere in a 60-mile radius from this will be suffering the effects of the dust going airborne. So 60 mile from Greencastle takes you to the coast in Belfast. It takes you to Derry. It takes you Antrim, right?
All around the coast of the North Ulster.
So unless you own a boat and
North, south, east and west.
You'll be affected by this.
And the British claim that territory. So, they know that they're coming to the end of their tenure here. So they may as well make profit out of it and put all this in place here. So once they put this in, and if that radon or anything's released, well, there's a company called RWM, and they'll just dig up that all and put it back into the ground. And they will classify this as like a military zone, toxic, and they'll have to do a military evacuation. And there's only 1.5 million people in Ulster. It's not a huge task to get us out. Once they get us out, well, this place is open for business. Open for business, and that's the reality here, people. You just need to, we've been shouting about this here for quite a while now, but it's getting squeaky bum time, because if you look at all these towers and all that they're building, for communications and all, they have so much gold and silver and copper in them. And that's a fact. £20 of it, maybe. Some of it. You know what I mean? In each one of those towers. So they need this stuff. They need these resources, and they will go to any length to get it. And you, me, your family, everything, that's only collateral damage to these people. This is worth hundreds of billions of pounds. And we're only worth, each man or woman, you look at the Grenfell Tower, they're only worth 5,000 on paper. Because that's every life that was given in there was given £5,000 by the state. So if you do up the maths, this is more profitable than what the people. And that's what their aim is here. Forget about the people. They'll come to you with smiles and all and promise you the stars and the moon and all that there. But beware of wolves in sheep's clothing, people, because they come in many forms. And you have to be awake to this here, people, because this just isn't, sure, it's out the road there, sure, it's none of our business. No, this is everybody's business, because this will affect everybody ultimately at the end of the day. So with that being said, do you anything else you want to say?
No, that's about pretty much it now. But
so just something for the country to think on here now at the minute, you know what I mean? This is, a blowing up scale of what it is, one of their first planning applications. This isn't the one that's agreed upon, but it's giving you an idea of what they're looking to do. Okay, so just leave that with you there, folks.